Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
I don't. Is he on the line? Oh,
Yeah.
good. Push up to Ryan Tedder. Ryan has his own line in our studio. I think that's mighty impressive. Hey, Ryan. Hey, welcome to the show, Ryan. Good morning.
Hey, morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being had. Where are you today?
Yeah. I am in my 1963 Airstream, which is I've converted into a recording studio, parked in my driveway in Los Angeles, staring at a bunch of palm trees.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It's
wow.
bright and early. So do you take that baby out on the road, or is it just to keep in the driveway?
I do. I take it out on the road. I've taken it the last two. I made it probably 6 years ago, and we took it on 2 U.S. Canada tours, 2 summers in a row. I've taken it out, I think, probably 3 times. I've done a lot of albums. On the last Adele album, I like the stuff that I did. I finished in this Airstream, U2, obviously One Republic, and kind of you name it. Anything I was working on at the time was done in this Airstream.
Wow,
on the road.
On
the road.
Well, I tell you, the reason I'm bringing this up is as we do the show, there are 6 of us, and we are in different locations around the country, collaborating, as you are so famous for doing with artists. And Gandhi, one of the members of our show, she's like, well, I'm not tethered down. I might as well hop in an Airstream or a Sprinter and just do the show around the country. And just, why stay home? Do you get a charge out of, like, do you get a charge and more creative when you get off your property and in a totally different spot?
Oh, 100%. So, look, we've been touring as a band since basically 2007, since Apologize came out, so 2007. And we took we did take the last, better part of 3.5 years off. It was our first break in 12 years. And so we did a few Asian tours here and there and the other, but even when we do short little runs, I'm recording. I'm writing everywhere. I get the strangest kick. That's how I get my rocks off. It's I'll be in a hotel in Vienna or literally on the canals in Venice, and we'll have a studio set up next to a window, looking over the canals, working on new music. I write incessantly everywhere. And so now, because of COVID and just the future of just the species, Zooming has become, we've all acquiesced to the idea of Zooming. It has become ubiquitous. And now within songwriting circles, all of my sessions are Zooms. I'm Zooming with Julia Michaels today, and Nisha. Nisha wrote the new Maroon 5 single. She wrote the Ariana Grande Gaga single. She's one of my really good friends. She's in New York or New Jersey, actually. And then Julia, I believe, is here. And then yesterday I had a session with one of my songwriters, a British writer. She's 17, and she was in Lisbon, Portugal. So, wow. I mean, that's the new world. And now it's been normalized. So none of us, and I'm speaking for the songwriting community, no one's going to think twice about, hey guys, we want John to join the session today, but he's in Sydney. Okay, cool. He'll just Zoom in. And that's how it is. And it's been weirdly productive.
Wow. Well, we need your engineer team to come over here and help us out. But I must make an assumption here, Ryan, that you guys were sort of ahead of the curve on this when it was abnormal, or not normalized anyway, because you collaborate with so many people. I need to believe that you are doing it digitally with a lot of them. I mean, when was the last time you were actually firmly in a studio with 4 other people doing an all-night session with each other?
The last time, let me think about that. Let's see. Okay, I could tell you. Funny enough, we were on tour. We were doing what's called a setup tour. It's called an underplay. For those of you, for the uninitiated, anybody listening that's not in a band or an artist, once you get to a point where you can sell out arenas or outdoor sheds, like Jones Beach or the Madison Square Garden or whatever, once you get to that point and you have a new album coming, artists do what's called an underplay tour, which is where 3 to 4 months before that tour, you book 5 or 6 really small venues, like theater. It'd be like playing the Bowery, right? When you could play the Garden. And so we booked all those in Europe, and we were doing 6 or 7 cities. And dude, we flew to Dubai, played Dubai, then went straight to Paris. And over the course of the next 2 weeks, this is in March. This is March basically 1st through the 14th, 15th. We saw the COVID cloud moving across Europe. So as we were headed to Germany to play, headed to Italy, the border shut down. So we ended up having to bail on half our tour, find a hotel in Amsterdam, just because geographically that's what made sense. And we just hunkered down there for 6 days. So we booked studios in Amsterdam, booked studios in London. March 13th, I was up till, to answer your question very specifically, I was in a room with like 4 people. This is going to crack you up, though. I was in the room recording and writing till about 3 a.m. At our hotel in London. I work out of hotels when I tour. I set up studios inside hotel rooms. So we were working in this beautiful suite at the Corinthia, and we get on the plane the next day. I was up till 3 a.m. One of my good friends, who's an A&R guy, he's discovered the 1975 and a bunch of other things. He was there with us. Next day, I get on the plane to come home to LA. I land to a text message from that A&R guy saying, "Mate, I am so sick. I'm in the hospital. They're locking me down, putting me on oxygen. I just tested positive for that coronavirus thing," because it was like still new. And he's like, "I'm so sorry, man. We shared like pizza and drinks, and he's like, you need to go get tested now because I am so sick."
Wow.
So that was the last time I was locked down writing a song with a bunch of writers. I was exposed to coronavirus. So it was not awesome.
I'm assuming you tested negative. We're assuming.
I tested negative. And look, I'm not like trying to jinx it. At this point, and I don't want to, obviously, I don't want to turn the whole thing into a coronavirus conversation, but at this point, I know at last count 20 people that have had it, and I know 3 people that have died. So it is legit. Now, granted, the people I know that have died, 2 of them were very old. And one of them had something else. I think was just smoked for years. Had something else going on. But I at the time when I landed, I was panicking because all the world knew was what was happening in Italy, and we're sitting here going, "Oh my God! This disease, you do not want to get look what's happening in Italy." And so I was in a dead panic for about 2 or 3 days until I got my test results back.
I can imagine.
And yeah, I didn't have it. In a weird way now, I kind of wish I'd just gotten it and punched through it and had the antibodies.
Well,
I'm kind of jealous.
We were talking about that too. It's
my friends that have it.
When the doctor says your test came up negative for the antibodies, you're like, damn it, I really wanted that, but no, you don't. And by the way, if you're just turning us on, this is Ryan Tedder, and this all leads me to this next question: is being such an amazing songwriter and needing not only to collaborate with others but to have time on your own to write music, how does this change your creative process? Watching the world shift in as it's doing. I mean, does it mix it up for you a little bit about what you're writing about?
For sure, it mixes it up a little bit. I've been writing. We released a song at the very beginning of the pandemic, the first week. I finished a song. We had an album that was coming out. I mean, look, let me tell you, as far as recording artists go, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible because I know we have limited time. I immediately pivoted to okay, I got one song off my chest called Better Days, which we posted it on Instagram. We were going to release an album, man, in May, our first album in 4 years. And we happened to drop a single, which is not the one that I'm promoting today. With the Kygo single, thankfully, came 2 weeks later. But we dropped the single and the video and all the stuff the day that the WHO announced the global pandemic. And what I will tell you is, as a recording artist, unless you are the size of Taylor Swift, launching a single during this time is challenging, or an album, because you're competing with the news cycle. The hardest thing for any recording artist to do in their career is let the world know they exist and let the world know that they have a new song or new album. And we have record labels that are professionals at making that happen, but they can't even pull it off because the news cycle is either COVID-19 or Donald Trump, and that's it's so hard to compete with the news cycle. So all that to say, we dropped a song the first week called Better Days. Jeep picked it up. And 2 days later, the CEO of Jeep calls me. Jeep Chrysler's like, we want to use the song for our campaign. We're trashing the whole campaign. We're getting rid of the song we were going to use. It's a 3-month commercial. It's going to be on every network. Can we use your song Better Days? Yes, they use it. 2 days later, NBC calls. Can we use this song? Yes. Then ESPN, NFL. And this is, it's not a song we went to radio with in the United States anyway. But that was the first example for me of, oh my God, we can be creative in this time, and it can still resonate. Now, what I don't want to do,
you're doing that.
I think that's the best thing you can do.
I know, but the problem
During
is
this-
you know,
during
we're
this time is
noticing
crazy.
on our end here, Ryan, is we're only getting just like 1/50th of the amount of new songs coming our way. So you may be an exception to the rule. A lot of artists are just in shutdown, or maybe they're not creative. They don't want to be creative. They just don't think strategically it's a good time business wise to release an album. I don't know, but I'm glad you're releasing songs.
Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll address that if you have a second. I'll tell you why. The charts are really weird right now, right? TikTok has now kind of gate crashed like top 40, and now you have a bunch of artists. Now, I'm not saying this at all demeaning. There's a lot of new artists that no one's heard of until COVID-19 that have now all of a sudden like crashed Spotify and Apple. And you're seeing all these names pop up that no one recognizes. Your major artists are very gun shy. I'm going to tell you personally, as a songwriter, we had an album coming out, our first album in 4 years. We pulled that. We moved it, right? We had a single come out. It got destroyed because it came out the 3 hours prior to the WHO announcing the pandemic. So thankfully, this Kygo record has legs and it is connecting. And I'm like so grateful for it because we finished writing it and doing it in the pandemic. Most artists, I had six singles. I had 6 singles coming out on 6 different artists, all of whom you guys know and all of whom you play. They're very well known. Like in the world, these are artists that everybody knows. I had 6 singles coming out. Every single one of them got either pulled or delayed indefinitely by every artist. And it was a combination of COVID and the BLM movement, because out of respect, it's really weird to be up there going, check out my new song, when people are like really sick or being ostracized, and racism and all these things are in the air, and artists are trying to be sensitive to that. And it's really weird, like hawking your songs and your music and promoting stuff when everyone feels like they should be promoting world peace or like wash your hands, like wear a mask. And so that's really what it comes down to. There's a lot. What you are going to get is this. I'm telling you, once we have a rein on this thing and we actually have a functional vaccine, the world is going to get a deluge of huge hit records from the biggest artists in the world, the likes of which you have never seen. It's going to be top 40 is going to have to change their name. You're going to have to change your name to top 80. Because it's going to be like Z100 top 80 hits, no commercials. Here we go. That's what it's going to be, man.
Well, Ryan,
I promise.
Well, it does have legs. This song with you and Kygo, Lose Somebody. We got to play that. But I'm telling you right now, from our point of view, now's the time. Today's the day. This is the time. We are starving for music like Lose Somebody, like anything. This is the time to do it. I'm telling you. I don't think we need to wait for a vaccine. I'd send me some music.
We'll
be top 80 by tomorrow. Man. I promise.
Dude,
I love it. I got to play your song.
I'm working with. Let's put the music out. Let's go.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it. So seriously, standing ovation for Ryan Tedder for giving us some music. All of the artists, please fall in line. It's time to put on our creative panties and let's get back to work, kids. I got to play this song because we're running kind of late. But Ryan, you just gave us a lot of interesting facts and points from your perspective, things we never even thought about. I thought that was very fascinating what you told us. That's why I can't wait to see you in person so we can all just share our COVID together. It'll be fabulous.
That will be fabulous, man. Let's get it, man.
All right. I'm going to play the song. Ryan, you have a great day, okay? Thanks for calling in.
You too. Thanks, brother.
The Mercedes AMG Interview Lounge.